Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. It's that time of the year again, folks. It's the middle of March. It's the AliExpress anniversary sale. Now, it's the second biggest sale of the year after the 11/11 sale, hence why I always make a top 10 roundup for this one. On today's list, I've got a varied selection as usual from $25 tapping out at $220, and make sure you stick around for number 10. It's a watch that I've included on a number of lists in the past, but I've never seen it this cheap before, hence why it's on the list today. The sale hasn't quite started yet. It starts on the 17th, but they allow you to add stock to your cart in this 2-day warm-up. I have done just that. I have 4 of the 10 watches on the list today in my cart ready to go. I'll leave links to all 10 in the order that I show them in the description of the video. I'm an AliExpress affiliate, by the way, so if you buy anything after clicking through on one of those links, they'll pay me a small finder's fee, a small commission. You don't pay any extra, just so we're clear. Thank you very much. So, what's on the list and what's in my cart? Let's get on with it. Well, you know that every one of these lists really has to contain at least one watch from 2 different brands, both long-time channel staples, those being San Martin and Pagani, so we may as well start with the San Martin followed by the Pagani. San Martin have actually been a bit quiet recently, but I am going to include their relatively new SN0118 diver, yours for well under $200 on a rubber strap and just over $200 on a bracelet. They do this one in a whole bunch of colours, from a rather familiar looking fruity selection through mint choc chip and various others. There's even a little bit of Fotina on one of them. It has all of the specs you would expect from a San Martin at $200, like sapphire crystal, Seagull movement, ceramic bezel insert, great lume, on-the-fly adjustable clasp, and fabulous finishing on the case and bracelet. You even get a colour-matched date wheel and applied logo and indices with this one. What makes it unusual though, as you see here from the specifications, is that it has 18mm lug width. That makes it particularly suitable for people who like a chunky watch but don't have chunky wrists. I honestly cannot remember the last time I encountered a watch with 40/18 dimensions, and that gives this one a little extra something that might find it a few friends. What about the Pagani then? Well, they have once again updated their Speedmaster lookalike. They're now onto version 6, and they just get better and better every single time. If you thought the San Martin was well spec'd, wait till you see what this one offers for the cash. Stainless steel case and bracelet, sapphire crystal, ceramic or sapphire bezel insert, lume on the hands and the dial, milled scissor clasp with 3 holes of micro adjustment, 100 meters of water resistance, and a Seiko Mecha quartz movement, all for the princely sum of just over $60 depending on which version you go for. And believe me, there are plenty of different versions to go for. There's classic Moonwatch colours, there's Snoopies, there's white and red ones, there's a little bit of everything, including some new 2-tone ones as well. The dimensions on these are also really wearable, I think more wearable than the watch on which they are based. They're a ton of fun, and I understand why they have sold so many of these over the last 4 years or so. At number 3 is the first watch in my personal cart today. It's by North Edge. I think this is now the 3rd North Edge watch that I have bought over the years. It looks like a particularly popular one as well, because they've sold 1,000 plus of these things already. And no wonder, $20 for an outdoor focused digital watch with a bunch of useful specifications and a carbon fibre case. 26 bucks, that is silly cheap. I've never seen carbon fibre anywhere near that price. They claim a total weight on the strap of 49 grams, which will place it pretty much on par with a square G-Shock, even though it's actually larger does more and costs half the price. So this one has a stopwatch, a compass, an electroluminescent backlight, a countdown timer, perpetual calendar to 2099, 12 or 24-hour setting, and can be used both as a pedometer and a pacer should you wish to, well, walk or I guess march to a certain tempo. Two strap options are available, one grey, one green. I'm going for grey. I can't wait to see if this one is as good on hand and on wrist as it looks on paper. Another watch in my personal cart today is by our old friends at Berny. Not my favourite AliExpress brand name, but not one that's on my banned list either. Plus, this watch is available with a sterile dial, as you'll see. It's a super legible titanium pilot's watch with an automatic movement, a choice of sapphire crystals, either flat or domed, with prices starting at just under $90 US. Now, if this one is screaming Zen 556A to you, you, my friend, are not alone. It's doing exactly the same thing to me as well. So perhaps not original, but definitely a bit of a spec monster and bigger than the 556. Titanium case, titanium case back, and optional titanium bracelet. But if you go for the canvas style military strap, you get titanium hardware and quick release end links, so take your pick. There's either a full lume dial or generously applied printed superluminova options for you to choose from. There's a porthole date complication at the 430, 100 meters of water resistance, and a Miyota 8215 running the show. Bracelet or no bracelet, domed or flat sapphire, sterile or branded, take your pick. I've had a good look through all the options here, and I'm going to go for the branded one on the canvas strap with the flat sapphire. My logic being that the Berny name does balance out the dial, titanium bracelets are never quite as good as they ought to be, and a few people in the comments section on the listing are complaining about Flecto from the domed sapphire. Plus, it's under 90 bucks, which is always a bonus. You can expect a full review of this one as soon as it arrives in Sydney. Alright, yet another watch in my cart today is by Cadisen. It costs a whole $50 US, and yet it is spec'd with sapphire crystal and a Japanese made automatic. They call this one the C8235, and there is a whiff of Longines here, I think, including the colour choices, but it isn't a one-for-one copy of any specific model, at least not one that I could find. Talking of colours, 4 colours are available. There's a silver white, a black, a blue, a green, with all 4 having what looks like a fairly strong sunburst finish. And it doesn't look bad for 50 bucks, does it? One thing to note, 39mm in diameter, but a comparatively long lug to lug of 47. You can see those lugs are relatively long compared to the size of the watch. Date at 6 is a nice touch though, keeping things symmetrical, and the bracelet looks a little bit unusual. It looks like a 5-link with proper individual links and a butterfly clasp. Now, I'm going to go for the green dial because it looks like a really nice deep shade of almost kind of golden green, if you see what I mean. That lug to lug should fit me fine, and for 50 bucks, I don't think you can go too far wrong given it's from a well-known brand with a well-known movement and sapphire crystal. Moving on to a brand that I used to highly rate, but they just seem to stagnate over the last few years, not really producing anything interesting at all. But I did spot this one, and the quality looks amazing for the price. The brand is Kronos. Now, Kronos make the best dollar for dollar Rolex Submariner lookalike that I've ever come across, but today they've turned their attention towards Grand Seiko instead, producing a couple of really attractive looking GS homages mimicking their white birch dial, although if I'm honest, it's not the white one I like, it's the grey one. That just looks gorgeous considering these are under $180 during the current sale. The standard of finish on these looks amazing, and rather than using a Seiko NH movement, this one uses a PT 5000. So not only is it much slimmer as a consequence, but it's a 4 Hz auto for that super smooth sweep of the second hand. Sizing looks perfect for me as well at 39mm, and it has a display case back through which you can see that movement, so sapphire front and back. There is a Sellita SW200 option, but it is $100 more, so 200 or 300. I'd be tempted to go for the PT5000. I say again, all of this for well under $200. It looks like I might have to get a Kronos on the channel after a number of years of absence. Alright, a real left fielder at number 7, and one that I think will have fairly narrow appeal, but if you like it, you are gonna absolutely love it. It's by Aqua Trident. Okay, we get it, it's a dive watch. It features a marine grade bronze case and Damascus bezel insert, and it costs under $220 when the sale starts. Now, that is exactly the type of watch that micro brands like Zelos were making a few years ago, but they were charging at least double that. It is a big boy though, 43mm in diameter, 51mm lug to lug, 14.75mm thick, and 130 grams on a leather strap. Although, to be honest, that really should be a rubber strap, shouldn't it? Like I said, narrow but intense appeal. Some pretty wild colours here as well as the Damascus. There's red, there's blue, there's green, and there's black. And you notice, rather than having a single piece bezel insert, they're actually 4 separate bezel pieces. Very, very interesting. I can't remember seeing that before. So there you go, too big for me personally, but fully spec'd using the most interesting materials I've ever seen on Ali, and still costing well under $250. At number 8 is the 4th and final watch in my personal cart today. I have always had a bit of a thing for this type of military reissue watch, but they tend to be ridiculously expensive. Not in this case, however. It's a 1970s mil-spec diver from Watchdives that costs under $55, and it looks identical to stuff costing 5, 6, even 10 times as much from the likes of CWC, MWC and Marathon. And it has all of the specs that you want for this type of watch. Stainless steel case, sapphire crystal, BGW9 lume on the dial and the hands, 100 meters of water resistance, and a Seagull VH31 sweeping quartz movement. In terms of size, this one looks spot on for me at just under 41mm in diameter, with a 46mm lug to lug, 11mm thick and 20mm lug width. That is just about perfect. The lume I'm not so sure about. Even from the photos, it doesn't look particularly strong, but as long as you know what you're getting, I doubt very much this one will disappoint for under $60. I will open mine live for you when it comes in, and you'll be able to tell from the sound of my voice exactly what I think of it. And it's a 2-for-1 deal at number 9. 2 watches from the same brand that I have given the full review treatment to recently, and they were both really, really impressive in their separate ways. If you didn't pick one up then, you may as well have a look at them during the sale and grab one if you're interested. They're both by Militado. One is under $60 and one is under $80. I looked at their Murph homage last month and I thought it was excellent. Very, very well made. Lovely piece of glass. Again, that Seagull VH31 4-tick quartz movement. It was available either on a NATO strap or a bracelet, with a couple of different shades of lume available, all for less than $60, and their military chronograph was materially almost indistinguishable from the Baltony that costs close to double the price. Again, excellent sapphire, good lume, Seagull Mecha Quartz chronograph movement, and a wearable strap straight out of the box for under $80. Both absolute no-brainers at those prices. And let's round off the list with an absolute classic that if you don't already own, you really should own one. I own one, I've been wearing it throughout this video. It's on the list today because I don't think I've ever seen it this cheap before. It's a Seagull 1963 chronograph, and for the first time ever, it's under $100. Now, I always urge caution with these because there are plenty of scam listings that will show you one thing and then deliver you another. But this is the shop that I bought mine from, and they have an excellent reputation and an excellent rating. The pictures do indeed show a genuine Red Star 1963 with Seagull ST1901 column wheel chronograph in the back of it. You have 2 choices: acrylic crystal for authenticity or sapphire crystal for longevity that cost $10 more. It's China's best known and arguably their best watch, full stop, and if you don't have one, do yourself a favour and get one. So there you have it, another AliExpress sale, another AliExpress top 10 video. What did you think of the list? In particular, what did you think of my 4 personal choices? I am most excited, I think, by the North Edge. 26 bucks for a carbon fiber digital watch. It looks really good in that all grey colour. And the Watchdives 1972 mil spec. That thing looked super hot for 55 bucks. I suspect they are going to sell a few of those if they have stock over the sale. If you didn't fancy this 10, why not check this 10 or this 10? I'll see you in the next one. Have fun finding bargains during the sale.